I thought I knew my fiancée inside out. We had been together for 4 years, engaged for just over 6 months, and everything always seemed perfect on the surface. She was smart, ambitious, and charismatic, and I admired her drive. I, on the other hand, had a career that didn't exactly draw applause from everyone. I worked in a niche technical field that few people outside the industry understood. It wasn't glamorous, it didn't make headlines, and it certainly didn't have the social prestige of the corporate jobs that most of her friends held. But I loved what I did. I took pride in my work, and I believed she appreciated it too. I thought she did. That illusion shattered one Friday evening. She invited me to her office for a small team celebration. It was nothing major, just a casual gathering after a big project launch. I agreed, figuring it was a chance to meet her coworkers and get a glimpse of the environment she thrived in. I dressed carefully, made sure my hair was neat, and tried to present myself as someone polished and confident. I wanted to make a good impression. The office was buzzing with energy when we arrived. People were laughing, sharing snacks, and congratulating each other for the successful project completion. I was introduced to a few colleagues, most of whom were polite but distant, absorbed in their own social circles. I could tell some of them had heard about me in passing, but nobody seemed genuinely interested in my work. That was fine. I wasn't there to prove myself. Then, she decided to introduce me to the team. "Everyone, this is my fiancé," she said with a smile that felt rehearsed. He does his thing in tech." That phrasing should have been my first warning, but I brushed it off. People chuckled politely, and she went on to explain in her own words what my job entailed. It was a complicated field, full of jargon that no one outside the industry could follow easily. I tried to explain myself simply, keeping it light and relatable. But then the tone shifted. She interrupted me mid-sentence with a laugh that was a little too loud, a little too sharp. "Oh, come on," she said, leaning toward the group. "He literally spends all day staring at screens, typing code that nobody even understands. I don't know how he thinks that counts as a career." There it was, the sting. A joke, maybe, if it had come from someone else, in a different context. But coming from her, in front of her colleagues, it was a humiliation. I felt my face heat up as laughter rippled around the room. Some people chuckled politely. Others snickered in a way that made me feel small, invisible, inadequate. I wanted to disappear. I tried to laugh it off to keep my composure, but the weight of betrayal pressed down on me. This wasn't a harmless joke. She didn't just poke fun. She publicly undermined me, mocking a part of myself that I had always been proud of. My career wasn't a hobby or a casual interest. It was my life, my identity. And she had just dismissed it like it was meaningless. After the gathering, I drove us home in silence. The car felt suffocating. Every turn of the wheel seemed to echo the words she had said. I couldn't process it at first. Anger, hurt, disbelief, all jumbled together. I wanted to ask why she had done it, why she would choose to belittle me in front of people I barely knew. But the words got caught in my throat. Once we were home, I tried to bring it up carefully. "Why did you say that in front of everyone?" I asked, keeping my voice steady. I expected an apology, an explanation, maybe even a laugh and a brush off, but nothing came. Instead, she rolled her eyes and said, "Oh, come on, it was a joke. Can't you take a joke?" I felt my heart sink. This wasn't about humor. This was about respect, or the lack of it. She had shown in that moment that she didn't value me or my work enough to defend me, to even consider how it might feel to be ridiculed in front of strangers. For the next few days, I replayed the scene over and over in my head. I thought about the kind of life I wanted, the kind of partner I needed. Someone who would stand beside me, not in front of me laughing at my expense. Someone who would lift me up, not tear me down. I realized that I had been ignoring little signs for months, perhaps even years. Subtle digs here and there, comments that seemed like jokes but carried a sharp edge, a lack of support in moments where it should have been unconditional. I remember sitting alone one night, staring at the engagement ring on my finger, feeling an unexpected sense of clarity. Love isn't supposed to feel like humiliation. Commitment isn't supposed to feel like compromise to the point of erasing your own identity. I loved her once, I truly did. But love without respect isn't love at all. It's a trap. The next morning, I asked her to sit down with me. I could see the curiosity in her eyes, the casual assumption that we could laugh this off. But I couldn't. I've been thinking a lot about us, I started carefully, about what it means to be engaged, to build a life together. And I realized that I can't be with someone who doesn't respect me or my career. I can't ignore this, and I can't move forward pretending everything is fine. She laughed nervously at first, trying to wave it off, but I continued, steady and resolute. I can't be with someone who publicly humiliates me, who doesn't see the value in my work, who can't even acknowledge how hurtful that was. I'm ending this engagement. Her expression shifted from confusion to anger to disbelief. She tried to argue, to rationalize, to blame me for overreacting. But I couldn't be swayed. I had made my decision. Love and respect had to go hand in hand. Without respect, there could be no partnership, no shared future. I moved out of the apartment we had been planning to share within the month. I returned the gifts, the personal mementos, the reminders of a future that would never happen. The pain was sharp, yes, but there was also an undeniable relief. I had reclaimed my dignity. I had drawn a line that would not be crossed. In the weeks that followed, I found myself reflecting more deeply on what it means to truly love someone, and, more importantly, to love yourself. I realized that compromise in a relationship doesn't mean sacrificing your self-worth. It doesn't mean laughing along when someone diminishes you. And it doesn't mean tolerating betrayal in any form, even under the guise of humor. Breaking off the engagement wasn't easy. There were tears, awkward conversations, and moments of doubt. But each day, as I moved forward on my own, I felt stronger. I had taken a stand not just for myself, but for the kind of life I wanted to lead. A life where I could be proud of who I am and what I do, without apology or mockery. I still think about her sometimes, about the life we could have had, but I don't regret my decision. Respect is non-negotiable. And in the end, choosing myself, my dignity, and my future felt like the only choice worth making.